All right, welcome back to the sixth episode of the Wellness with Vanda podcast. I was trying to think of what I was going to talk about today as like my life update and or like update on my kids, and I just have nothing really. I feel like to share. I guess I can share this. Last night, I'm recording this on the Thursday prior to when it's going to come out on Tuesday. So last night, Hollis woke up at 1:30 and proceeded to stay awake until almost 4 o'clock. I got up at about 3 and gave him a kid's melatonin gummy, which did not really help because, like I said, he still didn't fall asleep again until almost 4 o'clock. And even then, he was pretty restless. In the middle of that, somewhere, Anthony also got up out of his bed, came to our room, and was just like, "What's up? What are we doing?" I don't know. I don't know what the deal was. Thank God Kinley also didn't wake up, but Blake and I, neither one really went back to sleep after Hollis got up at 1:30 and then acted like an absolute monkey in our bed until almost 4. And I don't know. It's not the moon because the full moon is not until my calendar's not in front of me, but we just had the new moon on this past Monday. So I know that's not it. So I don't know. I don't know, but I feel like I'm not on it today necessarily like I usually am because I didn't get good rest last night, which is, to be expected. However, we are going to talk today about the upcoming holiday. Thanksgiving is obviously on Thursday. If you're like me, some of you may have already even had Thanksgiving gatherings. Most people probably have the majority of theirs on Thanksgiving and the weekend after. So I felt like this is really timely to talk about and share about. And this is actually, I pulled this stuff from a training that I had done previously a couple years ago. And there's kind of 3 different sections to it. It's holiday or party tips, travel tips, and then vacation tips, or I'm sorry, eating out tips. So I'm gonna go through all of those and kind of explain them a little bit because I feel like we are headed right into busy season. And for people that are more health conscious or they're working towards a health goal, or maybe it's a fat loss goal, this can be a stressful time. And it can be a time where you feel like you're a little bit out of control of like what your food options are and what you're going to be eating at certain meals. And I first just want to remind you that these gatherings are singular events. Like, how many Thanksgiving meals are you really going to have? Like, for me personally, actually, we're going to have 3. Um, some families might only have 1. Some might be like me. You've got multiple family members that you go to. But the other thing that I want to point out about that is that you have to remember. I'm sorry, guys. My throat is weird today. So I keep like having to clear my throat. The important thing to remember is like, what's most important for you throughout Thanksgiving and Christmas? Is it trying to lose weight or make super duper healthy choices all the time without any wiggle room? Or is it more important to you to be able to enjoy the time with your family and with your kids, knowing that the choices that you make at one meal or a couple of meals is not going to outweigh the choices that you make the majority of the time. So just keep that in mind. So first up, I'm going to go through tips for eating out because I feel like when it is busier and there's so much going on, we're probably all out like doing Christmas shopping, you're more apt to need to eat out or choose to eat out because you like it. I like to eat out every once in a while, and it's just part of life. And it's not something that I'm willing to give up. However, there are some things that you can do to kind of help prepare for it, or be mindful when you know that you're going to be eating out. And one of the big things that I don't want you to do that I don't know, years ago when I would track calories in MyFitnessPal, if I knew that we were going out to eat somewhere that I really enjoyed, like I can specifically remember I love going to the Cheesecake Factory. And they have a certain pasta that I love to get. And of course, you've got to get cheesecake while you're there. And I remember eating as few calories as possible throughout my, like breakfast and lunch. We were going for dinner, to save up those calories for dinner time. And that is really not a very good strategy because what that actually led to was me being starving by the time we hit dinner. So I probably ate more than what I would have if I had just had normal breakfast and lunch amounts leading up to the meal because I wouldn't have felt so like famished by the time that I got there. And then it dysregulates your blood sugar all day long if you're like not properly fueling yourself and you're just trying to take in as little as possible. It just doesn't serve you. So that's my first tip, is to not go into planning to eat out for a meal thinking, well, I'm just not going to eat anything today until we get to the restaurant or until we have that meal because I know that I'm going to eat more than what I normally would. Or you want to have like some type of special dessert or something. Don't do that. Just have your regular breakfast and lunch, and then when you get to dinner, or what, it doesn't have to be dinner if you're eating at lunch, breakfast, whatever. When you get to the meal, tune in with your body. How hungry am I? What sounds good to me? What do I want to eat? And just go with it. The other thing is that I do think is helpful at dinner when you're eating out or lunch, skip the Coke or the soda. In general, I recommend not having Cokes and soda anyway because they're just empty calories. There's really no nutritional value there. Now, that being said, I do really enjoy a Sprite from McDonald's every once in a while, or a Big Red. So I'm not saying that I never have those things, but if you guys know me in real life, or you've been around for very long, you know that primarily I drink water, and I have for years. And that just kind of helps, like, also with that blood sugar regulation because there's so much sugar in Cokes and sodas. And then I just personally, I've never liked the taste of diet drinks, but also they're loaded with crap. Honestly, I would rather you drink a regular Coke or soda as opposed to a diet version because they're packed with a lot of bad things. And then the last tip that I have for you when you're out to eat is to aim to get a vegetable as one of your sides. It doesn't have to be your only side, but it gives you some good fiber in your meal. And, if you're choosing a vegetable, it's going to also get you some vitamins and minerals. All right, so moving on. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so choked up today, and I'm not sure why. I want to talk about vacation and travel tips because with the holidays, a lot of people have to travel away from home. You might be gone from home for several days, or it might just be one day or maybe 2 days. Either way, these tips are going to be helpful. First and foremost is have a balanced breakfast. When you start your day out on the right foot, you're a lot less likely to end the day with a bunch of cravings because you haven't had enough to eat throughout the day, or you grabbed like a donut instead of your normal Greek yogurt with berries and granola. Just having something that's more balanced is going to start you out on the right foot for the day and keep your blood sugar better maintained as the day goes on. If you are someone that's traveling for several days in a row, like say you're taking like a week-long vacation, and you know that at dinner time every night, you and your family or your partner, whoever you're traveling with, are going to go out to eat, and you really want to be able to just order whatever sounds good off the menu because this is your vacation and you're really looking forward to it and you want what you want, then choose that to be your whatever meal for the day. You're like, I'm just going to get whatever sounds good to me, whatever I want. I'm not going to worry about it. But then you're also knowing that at breakfast time and lunchtime, you're making more intentional choices and making sure that those meals are really balanced. Drink lots of water. When you're traveling, you are a lot more likely for like your hydration to slack off because you're just kind of out of your normal routine and you might not be drinking as much water or liquids as you usually are. That sets you up to get constipated, which sets you up for a whole host of problems. So drink lots of water. That also just helps your body to like detox and your cells to be properly hydrated, which is super important for energy. Don't skip out on your supplements. So if you are someone that regularly takes certain supplements every day, pack them up, take them with you, continue to do those. The more that you can keep your daily habits the same, even while you're on vacation, the better you're going to feel and the better you're going to feel at the end of that vacation. And then walk as much as possible. So, squeeze in a quick 5 to 10 minute walk outside after you eat, before you eat, wherever you can to help get some neat movement. Because oftentimes when we're traveling and when we're on vacation, we are a little more laxed and, not as active. We're not likely to like do dedicated exercise while we're on vacation. And that's 100% totally fine, but we still want to be getting that neat movement in. Okay, so lastly, let's talk about holiday parties, holiday gatherings where you are a little more out of control of like what foods are going to be there unless you're bringing your own food. Um, Again, same recommendation as when you're going to eat out. Don't save calories for later. So don't go into Thanksgiving Day thinking, I'm going to skip breakfast and maybe lunch, depending on when your family has Thanksgiving dinner, because I'm going to grandma's later or mom's later and I'm going to eat all that good Thanksgiving food. That again sets you up to be super hungry when you get there and overeat and feel like crap. So don't do that. Again, skip out on things like Coke, juice, punch, alcoholic beverages, unless that's like a really important part of your gathering. Because again, those things are empty calories. They're not really going to serve you. If you overindulge in the alcoholic beverages, that's clearly going to make you feel bad probably the next day. But also, we need to remember that causes a shift in our liver's priorities. Like our liver is working all the time to detox things that we are exposed to in our everyday to day environment. And when alcohol is present, it's really got to get that detoxed and processed first before it can deal with anything else. So you're likely going to feel like crap the next day, and that might linger for a few days. Try not to snack between your meals unless you are truly hungry. I put this in there because I think when we are gathered around with family and maybe we're spending several hours at someone's house, maybe we're playing games, maybe we're watching movies, it's really easy to just kind of graze all day long. And when it's a single day, it's not a huge deal, but it does kind of cause these rises and falls in your blood sugar all throughout the day. And you're probably overeating. Like you're probably doing that because it's a gathering. Like everybody else has a snack. Everybody else is having a second piece of cake and it looks good. And you just want to, like, I'm not saying that you can't have those things, you can't enjoy the event, but really kind of stop yourself and ask yourself, like, am I having this because I'm really hungry? And then also think about, like, if I have this now and I just kind of want it, like I'm not hungry, but I just want it, I think it's going to taste good. How's that going to make me feel afterwards? And is it worth it? And if you're like, yeah, it's worth it, I'm taking a nap later anyway, I don't care if I, feel like crap, then by all means have it and know that you're going to make healthier choices tomorrow. But sometimes what will happen is you'll catch yourself and you'll be like, no, actually, I'm not even hungry. I don't want that popcorn. I was just going to eat it because it's here. And then you will choose to not eat it. And then the last suggestion would be to focus on getting lots of protein on your plate. So thinking specifically of Thanksgiving, have some of the turkey, have some of the ham, make sure that there's good portions of that on your plate and that you're not just loading up on carbs and sugars like the mashed potatoes and the sweet potatoes and the mac and cheese. Like have those things with it, but make sure that you've got plenty of protein on your plate that's going to help balance those things out. So I hope that's helpful as we head into Thanksgiving. And then you can carry these things, of course, on into the Christmas season as well, because I don't know about you guys, but it's like it's time for all of these holiday gatherings to start. And once they start, they kind of don't stop. So, speaking of, so this is going to drop on Tuesday. I'm thinking of timing. So this is going to drop on Tuesday. On Friday, Black Friday, I am offering a sale. I'm not going to share exactly what the sale is or what the product is because my email list is going to, as always, hear about that first. So if you're not on my email list, there is a link below in the show notes where you can make sure that you're on my email list. But just know that there is an extra special offer coming for Black Friday. I'm really excited about it. I think that lots of people are going to really benefit from what it is that I'm offering, and I'm super pumped about it. So make sure that you're on the email list so that you can take advantage of that. And I can share that the sale is going to start Black Friday morning, and then it will go all the way until Monday night. That way, if you're like traveling and away from home, or you're just focused on spending time with your kids and your family, you're not going to miss out, but also don't forget to check your emails. All right. So for our mindset minute, I asked last week on Instagram what you guys were enjoying the most about the podcast and what things that you like wanted to hear more of. And I got multiple answers for the mindset stuff. And I love that because I feel like it's kind of something that I personally am really focused on right now is my mindset, and not necessarily in one specific area, but just like learning more about the way that my brain works and why I have the thoughts that I do and where those thoughts are coming from, and what like things in my past are kind of creating the thought patterns that I have. So there will be more of that coming. And probably some solo mindset episodes as we move forward with the podcast. But for today, I thought that this was a really timely thought prompt to share with you guys. And it is asking yourself, how do I want to feel at the end of this week? And this can be at the end of the week, at the end of the weekend. It's basically like getting through this Thanksgiving holiday and these gatherings that you have with your family and your friends. How do you want to feel at the end of that? And I'm really actually not even talking so much physically, and I'm just realizing this as I'm saying it, but I really meant more like mentally. How do you want to feel? Like for me personally, I want to get to the end of the week and feel like I have had really enjoyable time with my family, that we've gotten to have like quality time together, that it wasn't stressful. I want to feel like I like handled my kids and their behaviors really well, because they're going to be crazy, they're going to be out of schedule, they're going to have foods they don't normally have, and like I want to be able to like at the end of the week say, well, I rolled with that pretty well, and not look back on it and be like, gosh, I spent the majority of my time these last few days fussing at my kids. And once you like know what you if once you give time to think about it, and you know how you want to feel at the end of this Thanksgiving weekend, then you're going to, even like without even having to really think about it, you're going to go into these next few days more intentionally, and you're more apt to like create that as your reality. So again, want you to give some thought to how do you want to feel at the end of this holiday weekend?